All right, continuing on with our series, something interesting in the book of Genesis. So we are jumping into chapter 17, and I hope whoever's watching this, will get something out of this. I just find this fascinating to just take your time and go through one chapter a day on the book of Genesis. So, chapter 17, and when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God, walk before me, and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Now you'll notice I put a little arrow here because this is important, because Abraham is not just the father of Israel, he is also the father of many nations, which is fantastic news for us Gentiles, because this was given about 460 years before Moses gave the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai. And the idea, really, from God's perspective was, if you just worship God and Him only, and love Him with all your might, all your soul, all your strength, and then treat other people like you want to be treated, that was really the only rules and regulations that there were at the very beginning. And God wanted to commune with man. But man, as in Israel, did not want to get too close to God because they were afraid of Him. And instead what they said was, Moses, you talk to God, and then whatever He tells you to do, we will do it. So that's how we got all the ordinances, all the commandments from God, all this kind of stuff. But it wasn't that way at the beginning. The very beginning, it was just a relationship. God wanted a relationship with the nation of Israel. And there were no rules and regulations, which is interesting. There is no Ten Commandments, none of that stuff. Even in the book of Deuteronomy, Moses mentions that it was easy. God was trying to make it easy. Anyways, a little parched this morning. Verse 5, Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. Here we go. Abraham, for father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, and their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. So He's not just the God of the circumcised, but He is also the God of the uncircumcised. That is so important. We'll probably touch on that a little bit later. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land therein thou art a stranger, and all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. So as a sign of that promise, just as God gave a promise with the rainbow, He said, never again will I destroy the world with a flood. I'm going to put the rainbow in the clouds. And then when you see that, it's a reminder for me to not to destroy you because of pride and all kinds of stuff, wickedness. I'm not going to do it that way. So here's another covenant. Because of what I just swore to you, that you're going to be a father to many nations, and kings are going to come out of you. This is a sign of my covenant. every man-child among you shall be circumcised. Let's go here. And then verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man-child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. So this is now including people that are under Abraham's house, as in anyone that is born outside of the house. Well, actually, it's saying he that is born in the house. So basically, people that are wanting to be with Abraham and live with him and work for him and all this kind of stuff, but not coming from his, from Sarah, if you will, or any of his descendants, I guess. So, which is not of thy seed. And these people are called strangers. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And God said unto Abram, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. So both Abraham and Sarah get a new name. And now God promises a son. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. And Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old, and shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And this is part of the miracle. Sarah was already past the year of having children. And Abraham said unto God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. So Abraham is interceding with God, saying basically, you know what? I have a young lad, Ishmael. Let Ishmael have this covenant. And God said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him. Ishmael is blessed by God, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget. So similar to Jacob. Jacob has 12 sons. So will Ishmael. And I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. So this is important because Ishmael is also blessed. He also comes from the seed of Abraham. But the covenant is going to be through Isaac. So that's very important. God is making the choice here. It's not man. This is not man's doing. This is not man's plan. God is saying, look, I'm also going to bless Ishmael, your other son. But my covenant's I'm going to establish it with Isaac. Verse 23, and Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as God had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day Abraham was circumcised, and Ishmael his son. And this was important for Moses to include this. And all the men of his house, born in the house and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. So that is the end of chapter 17. And now things are getting interesting now in chapter 18. But that's another video. Hope you got something out of this. Hope this encourages you to read through the book of Genesis. Really, you could do it in about 3 hours. That's how long it should take you. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you got something out of this, feel free to subscribe. And as always, make sure and leave a comment. Thanks for watching.